So we are back once again with another creative server experience, but this time with Zenless Zone Zero. Obviously, just gotta say, this is going to be initial footage. This is creator experience, so anything you see here could be changed for the final product, so take it with a grain of salt. But you know, let's get right into it. This time we are gonna do it a bit differently. Previously, I have done for early access stuff, I've pretty much built sweaty team comps, you know, try to explain and do like a little guide and, you know, do some min-maxing sweaty builds. I might do that for DPSs where I check out Cinema 6s and stuff, but primarily I think I want to gear these more towards like first impressions, as if like I just got the character, which I just did, and we're gonna pretty much jump into VR, try her out for the first time, check out her ability, see what she does, and we'll go from there. Let's take a little peek at the different animations between the menus, right? Here's basic stats, skills, okay. We got equipment, nice. And what if we go from skills to equipment, back to skills? Okay. I like her weapon. She does have a little Neon Genesis Evangelion reference maybe on her pants there. She does, I will say, she does kind of remind me of Hatsune Miku, but with more green hair. Now, going into her abilities, we have her core skill here. Eternal Seasons. Essentially, from what I gather, basically every time she does a finishing strike, which you will see later when we go into her abilities here, she basically accumulates 5 stacks of subjugation on the enemy. This stacks up to 20 times. Now, each stack of subjugation is a 3 max at max core level. It is a 3% stun damage multiplier. This goes up to 60% with max stacks. Now, you might be thinking, against normal and elite mobs, getting that up might be really hard because they daze really easily. Luckily, in her core, she does have a special effect here where when applying subjugation to normal and elite enemies, it stacks double. So instead of having to do 4 subjugations like you would have to against bosses to get max stacks, you only have to do 2. But basically, that is pretty much it. She also has this ability where if you have at least 1 attacker in your team, she gets 20% increased days from her base attacks, which generally, you're going to be getting most of your days from her basic attack, just the way in which she stacks her voltage levels. Also increases her own attack up to a maximum of 600 for every impact above 120, which really is not that hard for impact characters to get above 120. Very, very easy because you will be going impact main stat, right? On top of that, if you are going the day set as well, you're getting even more impact that way. So it is very nice. And yeah, let's get into her basic attacks. Honestly, the best way I think is to jump into VR, right? Let's just take a little gander here. Qingyi, pop in a little Zuyan here. If you guys did not notice, there's a little enable manual chain attacks. So after enabling, chain attacks can only be triggered by holding down the basic or special attack button upon a basic dodge counter or quick assist follow-up heavy attack hitting a stunned enemy. So it does give you a bit more control. If you do not hold down, basically it will not trigger a chain attack. So I'll probably get into this a bit later or make a separate video on this mechanic entirely, but let's just continue here. So essentially, Qingyi, as you will notice right here, has a voltage meter. So as you see here, right, we're gonna go 1, 2, and then her third attack right here, if you choose to continuous spam left click, right, she continues to do this. She turns into little Sonic the Hedgehog or something. I don't know what this is, like Kennen from League of Legends apparently, and does this. And as you can notice, her voltage stacks stack up quite quickly. And then if we hold here, we use up all the voltage stacks to do a chain of 5 attacks with a finishing blow at the end. That finishing blow at the end is what we were going for with the core to apply the subjugation stacks. As you can see there, so let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, and apply our subjugation stacks with that. It's at 209. That's pretty much essentially how we want to play her. So you basically want to just keep getting her subjugation stacks going from the voltage gained from this into the finishing blow. Very simple. Now, definitely want to show you a little thing. So we're gonna let this guy attack us. So, Qingyi, let's say we're doing this, yeah? I could do this dodge counter and go right back into it, do another dodge counter, and continue to maintain this. And then we go into this, and there's something that I did not say, which is that the finishing blow actually, after the 5 hits of max voltage, has a perfect dodge into it. So here we go. So I can dodge at any point. I can dodge at any point of my final blow for attack, and it'll still maintain that final blow to be used afterwards. Also, you do not have to do all the 5 hits of the final blow. If you want to just go for the final blow real quick, you can actually just let go immediately to get that iframe of the finishing blow, as well as just immediately getting the subjugation stacks. So if you see here, I'm going to quickly get my voltage up. And now, if I want to do a quick finishing blow, I just let go, boom, and right into finishing blow without doing the initial 5 hits. And that is a very quick way of doing the rotation without having to, do the full animation. Obviously, if you wanted to, you can do the full animation. So you can do the full hits like this, but only the last hit of the finishing blow is the one that gets the iframe. So you will actually take hits from every other ability during that. Here is her skill. She does a little flip in the air and brings out her bow staff, or whatever it is, and basically hits. She does also have an option in her EX special attack to hold to consume more energy as well, if you wanted to. All right, if we do a single tap, that's it, right? Now, if we do a hold, she does a couple little extra spins to do a little bit more damage here. So tap, she does bop, 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 bop. Hold, bop, 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 bop. Does a little extra couple hits there. Very nice. And yeah, that's essentially Qingyi's full kit, right? You definitely want to weave her in when you can. I do definitely think she's probably going to be the best with Zhu Yan. Obviously, she wants an attacker. Running her with an anomaly team might not be the best because she loses out on that 20% increased days on basic attacks. And pretty much most of her days is from these hits, right? From basic attacks. So yeah, definitely want to run her with an attacker. Definitely think they designed her really well, where you can essentially kind of do a lot of mix-ups where if you're, let's just let him move again, right? If I'm doing this and I wanted to dodge real quick, I could dodge, do a dodge counter, and then go right back into doing it without having to feel like I need to ramp back up. It does feel a little stinky if that would have been the case, but they made the character very smooth to play. The fact that you can also cancel the finishing blow early just to basically not want to have to do the full combo, right? Because I as someone who loves playing combo characters, I really dislike when a character is forced to do a move when you don't want to do it. It is what it is. And yeah, I do think her EX special attack feels a little whatever, but it's fine. It does the job. And then her ultimate is a pretty stock standard ultimate, just doing electric damage. Now, let's check out her cinemas. Probably my favorite part of the game. Here we go. I will say, for some reason, in the creator server, the cinema for Qingyi is ambi for some reason. I don't know why. So, this is Cinema 1, or Mindscape 1, whatever you want to call it. When Qingyi enters combat, Flash Connect voltage is instantly restored to its maximum. So, you essentially start up with full passive charge, off rip, and the accumulation rate is increased by 30%. That's insane. When using our basic attack, Enchanted Moonlit Blossoms, if Flash Connect voltage is at its maximum, the attack will reduce the defense of the enemy hit by 15%, and Qingyi's crit rate will be increased by 20%. What? I know a lot of people are not building their stunners for damage yet, right? But essentially at the end game, we want to probably move them towards damage, right? I'm already building a lot of my stunners towards crit damage, right? With attack or their LE damage percentage, right? Now that I've gotten their basic gear down, I'm trying to min-max towards some damage because you essentially want your stunners and your sub DPSs essentially to be damage dealers as well as you get progressed more and more into the game after you're done gearing your main DPSs. But this is actually crazy. So attack attacks will reduce the defense. So she not only has a stun damage modifier, you know, it's like stock standard for stunners to kind of have that, but she also has the defense ignored by 15% and self-crit buff by 20%. Very nice. But I think the biggest thing here is the accumulation rate by 30% increase and the off-rip flash connect voltage max, right? So this essentially gives you a finishing blow instantaneously, but gets you cycling real fast. All right, let's check Cinema 2. I will say so far up to 1.0, for the most part, it's always Cinema 1 and 2 that seem the biggest for me personally, right? So let's check out what 2 is. Here we go. Each stack of subjugation in core passive Eternal Seasons increases the stun damage multiplier to 133% of its original value. When Qingyi's attack hits an enemy and the stacks of subjugation she applies reaches the maximum stacks or days dealt to the target increased by 15%. If you already have Cinema 1, you're already accumulating your finishing blows on her core that much faster. You're essentially going to be stunning them even faster with the 15% increased days. These two are pretty much bread and butter. Like, if you are going to get copies of Qingyi, it would be these two. They are really nice. Let's check out 4. Upon entering or exiting Flash Connect state, so after using our core, gain a shield equal to 10% of Qingyi's max HP. If a previous shield is still active, Qingyi generates 5 energy. This energy generation effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds. So if you have skill issue, you get a shield. If you have no skill issue, you get 5 energy every 10 seconds. Pretty nice. And then let's check out 6. The interrupt level of basic attack Enchanted Moonlit Blossoms is greatly increasing crit damage increased by 100%. When Qingyi hits an enemy with her basic attack, Enchanted Moonlit Blossoms, the target's resistance to all attribute damage is reduced by 20%. Okay. So she becomes a nuker, and then she also becomes a Giga Shredder. Yeah, that's a hold. That's her core. Increases core's damage by 100%. Ooh, that makes you wonder if you want to do your full rush attack or if you want to just rush to finishing strike still. Okay, so essentially, first copy makes her build her passive core energy way faster. Also starts you off with 100%, gives you 15% defense shred, as well as 20% crit for herself. And her C2 is an increase to the stun damage multiplier per stack of 133% per stack value. So original value per stack being 3% at max, so 133% of 3%. And then on top of that, she increases her days dealt by an additional 15% if they are already at max stacks afflicted, which is insane. I think C4 is just a skill issue or lack of skill issue. Nice energy, little quality of life, not crazy. And then C6 is if you for some reason really like Qingyi and want to make her your main, gives you essentially a DPS option, gives her essentially shred as well as 100% crit damage on her basically bread and butter ability. If you do C6 her, you're essentially giving your Qingyi 20% crit, 100% crit damage from C1 and C6, which is insane. 15% defense shred as well as 20% attribute damage shred, which is humongous. But yeah, chat, that is going to be our initial video on Qingyi, just going over her abilities, her stats, as well as a general feel of how she feels to play. I will probably have a subsequent video, maybe in a couple days, where we're gonna be basically trying her out with Zuyan and other compositions, and I'm gonna be also juicing her up to Cinema 6 just to see what she's capable of at Cinema 6. But yeah, that is going to be our initial first impression video of Qingyi. I think she is absolutely going to be amazing with Zuyan. Thank God, because I'm sick of using Lycan with my Zuyan right now because I don't want to level my Kolita. So I'm kind of been just waiting for Qingyi so I could use Qingyi, Zuyan, and then put Lycan back on my Ellen team. But anyways, that is going to be it for our Qingyi first impression review. Very fun character. I think her kit, especially our basic attack chains, are impeccable. I think the way they made her flow between her core as well as back and during to perfect dodges, etc., are very nice. And I do think her cinemas are absolutely cracked. I personally would not go for cinemas on a Daze character just because they are just a Daze character, right? I'm not trying to main DPS a Daze character, but if you really like Qingyi, maybe go for it, right? Might be worth it. So if you like this content and want to see more like this, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!